Okay, so now we're going to do number 6. If you want to see numbers 1 through 5, that is on a separate video. Okay, number 6, it says to simplify h minus 3 times the parentheses h minus 9. So h minus 3 parentheses h minus 9. So this is simply, there's no equations here, so don't confuse that with the problems we were doing in like numbers 1 through 5. So just be careful that you got to distribute first before you can simplify. So there's an invisible 1 here. So we're going to make this 1h minus 3h because negative 3 times 1. Remember, this is all multiplying. So negative 3 times 1 is a negative 3h. Now negative 3 times a negative 9. So always check your, just in case, guys. You don't want to miss a question because you just didn't pay attention to the sign. So just to double check, it's a positive 27. Alright, now I'm going to box, and then circle. Now, again, with your calculator, you can either do 1 minus 3, which is negative 2, or 1 plus 3 negative. Remember, different signs subtract and keep the sign of the larger. So it's negative 2, and then h, and you bring down the 27. Since these are unlike terms, that is considered simplified, and that is your answer. Number 7, I'm going to go directly onto the, well, actually I'll do number 7 here. So number 7 says, find the perimeter of the given figure. So remember, if it's perimeter, you're adding up all sides. So if it's got 4 sides, you need to add up 4 sides. If it's got 3 sides, you need to add up 3 sides. But what's different is that now they have variables involved. So what might help you is to notice what the different terms are. I have x terms, so maybe it'll help to have x term, x column. And then I see there's a y term. And then I have constants, so I'll just put numbers, okay? All right, so let's look at the x terms. We got 6x, and then we got a 2x, so we'll put that here. We've got a y and a 2y. Remember, that's a positive 1y. So y and a 2y. And then it looks like we've got several constants. We've got a 2, a negative 2, a negative 4, and a 4. So 2, negative 2, 4, and negative 4. Alright, so let's add these up and see what we get. So 6x plus positive 2x is 8x. And then 1y plus 2y is 3y. Now if you put 2 and 2 together, okay, so let's do it. Like if you do it all in one step, you could go 2 plus negative 2 plus 4 negative equals 0. And that makes sense because if 2 plus a negative 2 is 0, 4 plus a negative 4 is 0, and add those together, it's still 0, so it makes sense. Interestingly, that means all the constants eliminate, and all we have is this left, so 8x plus 3y. That is the perimeter of this particular four-sided figure because we did add up all the sides, and this is what it simplifies to. Let's try number 8. Number 8, I see an x, I see a y, and constants, so I'm going to once again have an x column, a y column, and my constants, which are numbers. So let's see, I've got a 1x and I've got a positive 5x. So 1x and a 5x. And I've got 1y. Okay, and then I've got a negative 1 and a positive 1. Wow, they canceled out again, didn't they? Well, we'll see. Sorry, that was off the screen. So I'm going to add these up. 1x plus 5x is 6x. 1y is by itself. Negative 1 plus 1 is just 0, so they cancel out. So you're left with 6x plus 1y, or just y. Do they always cancel out the constants? No, these two problems just happen to. Let's try number 9. Now we have another triangle. So let's see, number 9. I've got x terms, no y terms this time, just constants. So I'll just have x terms and a number x column and number column. So we've got 2x, we got 3x, alright, 2x plus 3x, and then numbers, we got a 1 and a 6, and then add those, you get 5x, and add these, you get 7, so my final answer is 5x plus 7. Don't try to make that a 12x, because these are unlike terms. Okay, so now let's try number 10. Alright, so number 10 says simplify, so that means we're not trying to solve any equations here. So I have 2x minus 8 minus 3 times x plus 5. Okay, interesting. Now, here, there's nothing being distributed except maybe an invisible 1, but just think about it. 1 times 2x is just 2x. Now the parentheses gone once you distribute. 1 times a negative 8 is still negative 8 or minus 8. And then here, be careful, negative 3 is getting distributed to these two terms. There's an invisible 1 here. Now, if you check, once again, try to do a lot of these on your own before checking what I do. Negative 3 times 1x, you can check that with your calculator, is negative 3x minus. So a negative 3 times a positive 5 is a negative 15. We're not done because simplify means you need to put all like terms together as well. So combine like terms, that is. So 2x plus a negative 3x or 2x minus 3x is negative 1x, but I will leave it invisible, so it'll just be negative x. And then same signs add and keep, so a negative 8 minus 15 or negative 8 plus negative 15. Let's see what that is. 8 plus 15, negative 8, is minus 23. Can't combine these terms, so that is done. Number 11, simplify again, so we need practice with this. So 2 times negative x plus 1 minus x. Ooh, this is a good one. Okay, so I've copied it over here. Let me double check. Okay, so we're going to distribute here, and there's an invisible 1, so 2 times a negative 1x, then 2 times positive 1. So 2 times a negative 1x is negative 2x. Don't forget to write your x's whenever there's an x. 2 times a positive 1 is just a constant positive 2. Now here it is tricky. Be careful. Be extra, extra careful. There's a negative 1 here. So you're going to take the negative 1, distribute it to this positive 1, negative 1, and then distribute it to this negative 6. So negative 1 times 1, if you check that, 1 times 1, negative 1 times 1 is negative 1x. And then negative 1 times negative 6 is positive 6. Now we're not done. Simplifying means you also combine all like terms. So we're going to combine these and combine these. Same signs, add and keep. That's going to be a negative 3x. But you can also use a calculator to check that. These are the same signs, add and keep. They're both positive. Unlike terms don't combine, so that is our final answer. Let's take a look at number 12. Okay, number 12 says to simplify 3x plus 4 minus x plus 9 plus 2x. Okay, so number 12, we've got 3x plus 4 minus a 1x, so there's a 1 here, plus 9 plus 2x. Okay, so let's box and circle. Alright, and you can do them all in one fell swoop. I'm going to do all of that. So 3 minus 1 plus 2. 3 minus 1 plus 2, 4. So this becomes a 4x. Now you add 4 plus 9, 13. Can't combine these, so this is your final answer. Alright, let me grab another sheet of paper for number 13. Alright, number 13. So this one says solve, which means this is an equation. So 4 times 5x minus 2 equals 3x plus 9. Okay, distribute first. Multiply, multiply. 4 times 5x is 20x. Many of you forget this second step. 4 times negative 2 is minus 8 equals 3x plus 9. Box, circle, box, circle. Smaller, I have variables on both sides. I'm going to move the smaller variable by doing inverse operation. If at any point you feel like I'm going too fast, always pause the video and then do it on your own and then replay. And obviously you can rewind at any time. So we've got to move the negative 8 so that it joins that constant on the other side. Okay, 17x equals, add those, it's 17. Now, we're dividing 17 on both sides, but a lot of you guys make this mistake of saying that x equals 0, but 17 divided by 17 is a 1. Okay, you can check. 17 divided by 17 equals 1. The only time it's 0 is when you're subtracting. 17 minus 17 is 0, but that's not what we're doing here. This is a 1 solution, by the way, because there's a variable. The only solution that works is this 1 when you plug it into those x's in the top. Number 14. Don't let 14 freak you out. Don't let 14 freak you out. All you got to do is think, hey, How do I do that? And then you can say, well, you can say, ooh, wait a minute, I have an idea, so let's try it. So change it to a decimal. So I'm going to go ahead and copy it. Negative 3/10 equals negative 6/5 p minus 3/5 p. Interesting. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is just change all of them to decimals. So 3 divided by 10 is negative 0.3, but there's a negative in front of it, so just don't forget about that. 6 divided by 5 is a negative 1.2 p. 3 divided by 5, a negative 0.6 p. Alright, so interestingly, we've got, alright, these are like terms, so let's go ahead and combine those before things get confusing. So negative 1.2 plus negative 0.6. 1.2 negative plus 0.6 negative equals negative 1.8 p. So now, don't get confused. There's my p. This needs to go. Divide by negative 1.8, divide by negative 1.8. These cross out. P equals negative 0.3 divided by 1.8 negative. And that's 0.17. It's a 1 solution as well. Uh-oh. Hopefully everything's okay. Okay. Getting close to the finish line, I think. Number 15. So find the solution for this. So we need to, I'm going to copy it. 63.9 equals 3x. Well, this is simple. Here's my constant. Here's my variable. This is a one-step equation. Just divide each side by 3. And so x equals 63.9 divided by 3 equals 21.3. And that's your answer. Okay, number 16. Solve for b in the equation. Okay, so we got negative 3 equals negative 2/7 b. Don't get freaked out by that. Just change the fraction to a decimal. So 2 divided by 7 is some really long decimal, so I'm just going to write 0.29 with the negative, and then divide by negative 0.29. Now, there's another way to do this, but we'll just go with this. So 3 negative divided by 0.29 negative. Negative 127. I think that's right. Let me double check. 3 negative divided by, yeah, I think so, 0.29 negative equals, no, okay. So let's double check now. 3 divided by 0.29. Okay, so it should be positive 10.34 because a negative divided by negative is positive, and that's your final answer. Okay, now number 17. Let's do this one. 5/3 b equals negative 10. So we got a box and a circle. Okay, let's change 5/3 into a 5 divided by 3 equals 1.6 repeating. So 1.67b equals negative 10. Divide each side by 1.67. So 10 negative divided by 1.67 is negative 5.99. And that's my answer. There we go. Number 18. Again, please pause this video at any point. We've got negative 5 equals h over 2 minus 8. So I'm going to add 8 to both sides. Negative 5 plus 8 positive 3 equals h over 2. So then you got to multiply each side by 2 because it's dividing by 2, you do the inverse, so h equals 6, and that's your answer. Number 19. Okay, so I see number 19 here is d over negative 4 plus 3 equals negative 3. Alright, so let's try that. So boxing this fraction with and then circling these. I need to get this circle away, this constant. Now these cancel because there's a positive and negative. These do not cancel because they're both the same sign. So I'm going to bring down the d over negative 4 equals, same signs add and keep, that should be a negative 6. 3 negative plus 3 negative equals, or you can do this, 3 negative just minus 3 equals negative 6. And then since we're dividing by negative 4, we're going to multiply by negative 4 to cancel out the negative 4s on this side, and you get a d. And then over here, at negative times a negative is positive. Double check it so you don't miss it because of a sign error. And that's a positive 24. Okay, now number 20. Number 20 says which one has one solution. That means the x's never cancel out. So that's just a clue that maybe will help us go fast on this one. So number 20, all right, we have 4 times 3, the parentheses, the quantity 3x minus 2 equals 12x minus 8. So let's see what that means. Distribute, distribute. Okay, 12x minus 8 equals 12x minus 8. I hope you can tell here that this is infinite solutions, because if you subtract 12x from both sides, these will end up being equal. That's infinite. So I'm just going to move on. That was answer choice A. Now I'm going to try answer choice B. Okay? In this situation, because it's multiple choice, nobody's checking your work. So as long as you know, you're confident that it's infinite solutions, just move on. So let's try this one. 2x minus 7 equals 2x plus 7. I wonder if you guys can tell that right here, you're going to subtract 2x from both sides, and these are going to cancel, and you're left with a negative 7 and a 7, which means that this is a no solution. But we want a 1 solution, so it's not B either. So let's go to C. 3 times x minus 2 equals 6x minus 4. Distribute, distribute, 3x minus, okay, so 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. Now I can already tell, because this x is different than this x, that they're going to have one solution. So box and circle, move the smaller variable, and you can already see that you're going to have 6 equals 3x minus 4. I can see ahead that you're just going to be dividing by 3. This is going to be a 1 solution, so I'm going to go ahead and say the answer is C. Okay, and lastly, number 21, this one asks infinitely many solutions. So you're looking for identical equation or expressions. So let's take a look at A. If we have 4 times 3x minus 2 equals 12x minus 8, distribute, you have 12x minus 8. Hey, this must be it. We got lucky. It's the first one. How do I know? Because watch what happens. Sorry, I forgot to draw my line. Minus 12x minus 12x, and you get a negative 8 equaling a negative 8, which is a true statement. So this is going to have infinitely many solutions, so it's A. Why isn't it B? Because if you see 2x and 2x are the same, but these are different, this is a no solution. This one ended up being a 1 solution. And this one, if you were to work it out, this also ends up being a no solution. So the only one that works here is this one. So guys, that's it for me, but what I would encourage you to do is, if you watch straight through this video and you actually didn't work it on your own, then go back and do a few problems at a time without the video and see if you can do it. Alright guys, good luck.